Welcome back to our Scottish Hockey Heritage interview with Alan Veitch. You join us for section 2, or episode 2, where Alan is going to give us a background to the Scottish Hockey Heritage organisation. Alan, how did Scottish Hockey Heritage start? Why did it start? What's the thinking behind that?
There was a meeting held, I think it was back in February 2020. It was a gathering of ex-players, representatives of Scottish hockey, and I think there were one or two representatives from, not necessarily directly but indirectly, from the Hockey Museum in England, and it was there to just kick off an idea about how, what we should do about preserving Scottish hockey heritage. So that went very well, but then COVID unfortunately came along and scuppered any further movement on that. So it was really a couple of years later, 2022, almost 2 years later actually, that we. By that time I was made aware of it. I wasn't at the original meeting, but I was made aware that there was a heritage group potentially getting going, because really, having done all my work on the on the club scene, again with my Inverleith hat on, I was quite keen to understand and get hold of all the players who had played for Scotland whilst playing for Inverleith. And but I think I then quickly found that there weren't current records available. There was quite a lot of stuff in the past, but there wasn't much in the current sort of around about the last 20 years or so. So that kick-started my idea, so that's when I kind of got involved with Heritage Group, and it kind of went from there.
So, why did it start? What is the purpose of Scottish Hockey Heritage?
We're really trying to understand what is actually out there, what exists, and where it is. We are available. We do know that Scottish hockey have put a lot of their archives into the National Records of Scotland in Edinburgh. So we're aware of that lot. But we also need to understand what else is out there and who has them, and then what we need to preserve and what we want to preserve. And it's not just, it's records, it's obviously my big interest, but there's lots of artifacts out there, and there's lots of stories out there. I think we must be looking to try and grab the stories from people who've played in Olympic Games or played many times for Scotland or what have you. And it's not just as players; it's the umpires, the technical delegates, the organisers, etc. So it's trying to get to the bottom of what's all there, and then understanding where we want to go next. So I think we've got a very big plan, or a broad plan of what we might achieve, but it's going to evolve, and it'll keep us all busy for a number of years. That's for sure.
I've got a theory that sporting prestige is fundamentally memories. Cricket, football, F1, rugby, golf, they all do their memories very, very well, and they're all mainstream sports. Hockey less so. Is this a solution to that?
I think it very much is. I think Scottish hockey, I see it as a mainstream sport, but there's very little actual documentation around anyway. But one of the easiest ways, as you're suggesting, is to get people to tell us what they did, etc. And I think photographs as well is a great way to collect archives, and because it's easier to put names to faces and in memories with photographs, and so that's the sort of stuff that we need to sort of try and build on.
Or videos like what we have on.
Yes, indeed, very much so. Yeah.
We have this will be going out on our YouTube channels. So, who is involved, and what are their roles?
Right, we've got a kind of hardcore of 4 people. Jenny Grassick is the chair. Jenny played for Scotland and Great Britain.
And her son did.
And her son did as well, and her husband Gordon played many times for Scotland, particularly on the indoor scene, a few outdoor caps as well. So a well-known hockey family in Edinburgh here. We've got Evelyn Raystrick, who's again, it's done a phenomenal. It'd probably take several hours to explain what Evelyn's done in hockey, but she's been on international umpire, she's been on rules boards, she's been technical delegates, she's been at 3 Olympic Games, she's been Scottish Hockey Chair, and there's many things. And we've got Jackie Burnett, who's again another international umpire, technical delegate. So that's our kind of the people we have. So the roles we see, we're kind of to say, I'm looking at records. Evelyn's kind of looking at collections, because obviously we want to try and gather up, or at least maybe what is out there. And Jackie's going to head up the oral history stream, and he's got a lot of ideas and contacts, and people are going to help her do that. So that's quite a very exciting development. It's going to hopefully kick off very soon, and we start to build up our memories of Scottish hockey.
There has been a recent award nomination at the Scottish Hockey Awards.
Yeah, I was slightly taken aback when my name came up as part of the nominations for the Spirit Hockey Award, but I was very, very touched that I got into the final 3, because clearly it was acknowledgement of obviously the work I've been doing so far. But I'm modestly say I hope I see it as a nomination for Scottish Hockey Heritage Group, because I think we're underway. It just takes time to evolve, and I think the more people we have on board, we can mention that a bit later, but the better we can get at it.
How can people learn more about Scottish Hockey Heritage?
Well, we've got a website. It's there. It's up and running. The project itself, we've got there's a paper available as a download on the website, and it's kind of headed up, strangely enough, Scottish Hockey Heritage Project. So you'll see that, you can download it. That gives a bit of background to the project, plans, and gives a view of what we've done, and what we're trying to do going forward.
So, Scottish Hockey Heritage website. There's a YouTube channel.
There is a YouTube channel. There's that's obviously where we'll be broadcasting. Obviously this interview here, but it's where we'll be housing a lot of our oral histories. And any if other things we're looking at, if people have got videos of matches or whatever, working away in an attic, let's hear about them as well. So it's again, say early beginnings in that, but hopefully lots more to come.
What have been the major milestones and big achievements of Scottish Hockey Heritage thus far?
Well, I think the club competitions was a big thing for me, but I think for us,
So
archiving stuff. Obviously the book at which I will flash up again, but it was obviously flashed up. We've been very grateful for the Scottish, for the Hockey Museum, the English Hockey Museum down in Woking. They've been running a project to gather up all the proper records of the GB games played, and they've been documenting all of those and all the players who played, and all the players who represented GB from the very first game going forward have all been given a cap number, and GB caps have been presented to many of them. So we've been helping distribute the caps to the Scottish players. There's been a few gatherings of ex-players together to do that, so that's been a great thing, and there's still 1 or 2 Scottish players to catch up with, but we're getting there. The other thing is we've kicked off the international records for the outdoors, especially on the outdoor side. So that's happening, so all the way from match 1 up to the current day. Between men and women, there's about 1,700 internationals have been played, and there's over 1,000 players that play for Scotland. So again, we want to have that proper proper record of all those captured going forward.
What is the link with Scottish hockey?
We are, I suppose, tenuously linked. We're under the umbrella of their organisation, but we're not. We're separate, but they do help us with, I suppose, communications. If we wanted to, as they did with our website, they did help us with through their social media channels to tell everyone that we launched our website, and we, as and when they've said, we can go to them and they can help us with the activities. So they're obviously there for guidance. We get their assistance, and some of the staff can help us from time to time, just with ideas that come up or information we need. So they're very, very helpful and very supportive of us.
Alan, thank you so much. That is the end of section 2, episode 2. Stay tuned for more episodes. Tao MacLeod, producer of the Half Court Press podcast, has published a book via Amazon. A Little Book About Hockey is now available from the Amazon website.